Hello and welcome to Immigration Law Made Easy, where we dive into the world of immigration law, provide insights and guidance for everyone who's navigating this complicated, crazy, wild, ever-changing system called immigration law. I'm your host, attorney Hillary Walsh, and I'm an immigration lawyer. I love my job. I love doing everything that I do. And most importantly, it's because I get to help amazing clients like you. So today I want to go through some of the questions that I get pretty commonly from people. And this episode is kind of for people who maybe you're thinking about becoming an immigration lawyer, or you have an immigration lawyer. Maybe I'm your immigration lawyer and you're really wondering what's a day in the life look like for me. So if you ever wondered what it was like to walk in my shoes, this episode is for you. Let's go. Morning preparation is really important for me. So I'm someone who thrives on a schedule. I live by my calendar. And if I don't think I have OCD, although I may have something that's kind of like in that neighborhood. If something is out of my schedule, I become really alarmed. I almost feel like in a fight or flight. So I have almost like hyper control over some of the normal basic things that I do every single day. The first thing I do is get up and have a cup of coffee and usually have quiet time by myself before my 4 kids get up, and I help get them ready for school and just kind of hang out with them before they head off for the day, or I head off for the day. Those things are just really important for me so that I stay organized and make sure that I end the day with actually achieving and doing for my clients what I said that I was going to do. I find that if I don't do this, the whole day will get away from me and it will be 7 o'clock at night and I'll still be at the office finally getting started on what I should have done very first in the day. So I love that quiet time and getting clarity on putting first things first. A question I often get is, what is the first thing I do when I arrive at the office in the morning? So it kind of varies, but my favorite thing to do when I get to the office is just to chat with everybody. I'm a really social person, even if I'm stressed out or have a lot on my plate. I love to walk through the office and give everyone a hug, say good morning, chit chat with them. I get a second cup of coffee right when I get here. You can always be seeing me carry around one of our New Frontier cups. I love these. And I go around and say hi to everybody and just kind of see how they're doing, because not only as an immigration lawyer, but as the owner of the law firm, it's really important to me to take care of my people. And although a lot of our team is remote, I love at least being able to check in and look eyeball to eyeball with my amazing team members who are here before I come into the office and kind of get settled and sorted and get started working on the time sensitive things that I have to get done first. Like I said earlier, during my morning routine, I tell myself, you need to get blank done before lunchtime or whatever it is. So I kind of make an almost competition with myself by giving myself a deadline. I often also usually have meetings right at 9 o'clock. And so I have to be careful when I'm coming in the office that I don't chit chat for too long and become late for my meetings with other team members, because nobody likes it when I'm late, especially me. Another question that I get, and this is kind of like a good reflection of a day in the life, is how do I prioritize my tasks for the day? So this involves reviewing a lot of the cases that I'm working on and just trying to figure out which ones need immediate action, and then I'm able to delegate that to various team members. Things that are on deadline, where I need to review a brief or do some type of adjustment before we can submit it, those are the things that I get done usually before I even come into the office. I will try to get that taken care of while I'm at home. And then when I'm driving into the office, I can listen to a podcast or an audiobook, or best of the early 2000s pop mix, because I did love to spend some time in the club when I was in my early 20s. Client consultations are a big part of my day. So my favorite thing to do when I see clients coming in, we meet with about 30 people a day, 25 to 30 people a day at New Frontier. And my favorite thing to do is get to see clients, especially when they bring their kids in. I love, love, love my kids, and I love clients' kids. They are so cute, they're so curious, and they're just wanting to get into everything. And when you're in an environment like we are in a law office where everything's kind of the same looking every single day, and you have a little kid come in and they're so excited to be in a new place, you get to experience the wonder of our beautiful office all over again. And I love just chatting with kids and even the parents and kind of seeing what's going on and really helping put people at ease while they go in for their consultation. I don't actually do any consultations anymore in the office. Our entire amazing team of strategists do those, but getting to cheer people on as they go in to make a decision about their life, about whether we are going to be the right firm to help them make that decision, is like my favorite thing to do, because I know that we are, in my opinion, no legal advice given here, but I believe that we're the best. And so when they go in and they get to hear how we're going to help change their life, and then I go behind the scenes and see all the lives that we're changing, I know that the proof is in the pudding. And like, I love seeing that we're going to help not only the client, but those little kids that they're bringing in. It's so much fun. A question I often get is like, what is a typical consultation like? And I actually have a whole podcast about this that's titled, and I'll put it in the show notes, but it's titled like what to expect when you're meeting with an immigration lawyer. Our conversations in a consultation, we have done so much work for you before you even come in to meet with us. We charge like $100 for the actual meeting, but we do so much work for you for free before you even come in to meet with us, that we can tell you what service we believe you qualify for, how much it's going to cost, what the monthly payment plan is, what the probability of success is. We can tell you all of that before you even sit down in our office. And in fact, we strive to do that, because when you come in for a consultation with us, we don't really want you to waste your time on having to find out those things. Those things are so critical to your decision making. We want you to know it before you walk in the door. Nothing is worse, I think, than like going in and having to wait after this long sales pitch for someone to tell you what the price is. Because if you just knew that up front, you could have slept on it, you could have thought about it. If you're someone who prays, you could pray about it. You could consult other people. You could price shop to see if it's like a good rate or a normal rate. But if you wait until the consultation to get the price, it kind of sucks. And so we really work to make sure that by the time you get to the consultation, we are talking to you about the pros and cons of not moving forward. We want you to see that we see the future for your life. We see that we're able to help you. And if you don't move forward, what that's going to mean for your life. That's what our consultations are all about, because we want to give you everything else up front. The value for us is to really help you see that we're the right, whether or not we are is up to you, but we want to show you that we believe that we're the best option for you if you hire us to do your case. Another question I get pretty much every day, I just did a podcast earlier today with a host, and they were like, how do you handle all these cases where you're not only under a lot of pressure because it's people's lives and it's their livelihood, but also like it's people who are going through a lot. And for me, it's very invigorating. I thrive off of knowing that we're doing the hard work. Easy cases, anybody can do those. Hard cases, emotionally charged cases, cases other lawyers are like, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I'm like, bring it on, because I'm not only going to take the case, I'm going to crush the case, and God willing, I'm going to get the results that you deserve. And so those are really exciting cases for me. And the complexity of working with humans is beautiful and can be very challenging. Like, all of us can be the worst customer ever, right? Like, I know sometimes I'm not the best customer. Sometimes we have customers who come in who are being difficult customers. I love those people. I love working with people, even when they're in their hardest, most difficult moment, because it just reminds me of all the grace and forgiveness that I've had. And I'm just here to be a servant. I'm just here to help people out. So those difficult cases, because I have such an amazing team of attorneys and paralegals and legal assistants and declaration drafters and intake specialists. We have all of those people working on our team that together we are really, really strong. And so that's kind of how I handle all of those things. One of the big parts of my day is research and preparation. Now, from an immigration law firm owner perspective, a big part of my day is making sure that the firm as a business runs correctly. And then I do some of the marketing for the firm. I believe that if you have a business and you have a service that lots of people would benefit from, it does you no good. It does all those people no good if we're not out telling people about it. So it's my job to make sure that you know about the services that we provide. And then when it comes to legal research, I love being on the tip of the spear. I want to know all of the new stuff and the new ways that people are solving problems. And in fact, I have helped set precedent in certain cases, especially here in the Ninth Circuit, for how we should handle certain problems because I was thinking about them in an innovative tip of the spear way. So that's a really big fun part of my day. Another question that I get is, how do I stay updated on changes in immigration law? Whew, this one's complicated because, especially when Trump was president, there were new immigration laws, like new things being issued, sometimes two, three in a day. And so you were constantly trying to stay on top of things. And I was on TV a lot at the time, answering reporters' questions, sometimes live, about what the current status of immigration law was. And then other times I would be in immigration court and we would find out from the judge who was already on the bench telling us, well, according to this new memo that was issued this morning, and all of us immigration lawyers would like look around the room knowing that, oh boy, here we go. We have another new piece of guidance that we have to follow. And the reality is you can never know everything about immigration law. So the best thing that I can do is I have my news app on my phone. My news app knows that I read basically exclusively sports and immigration. Those are the two things that I want to read up on. So I read up on that every single day and get a lot of information that way. In addition to participating and leading a lot of webinars, I have written for numerous legal journals. So I help share information with other academics and legal professionals. And then, of course, courts and law clerks read those things as well. And then I help with other professional organizations so that I make sure that everybody stays abreast of the changes in immigration law, because I believe that we are on the forefront of helping educate other firms and other legal practitioners on what the standard should be for every immigration case. Okay, another question that I get, I'm seeing here is, can you describe the process for preparing a case for court? This process is usually a very long process. We gather documents first, we file forms, and so we do an extensive intake with our clients. We interview them. If there's a declaration that's needed, we have to do an extensive interview with them, and then that declaration is revised and revised and revised before we then present it to the client for them to revise it and make sure that it's all accurate, and then we submit everything to the court. Now, when it's time to actually go to court, we do a full run through of all of the testimony from every person who's going to testify. So if it's your mom, your dad, and you who are all going to testify in court, we're going to do all of our questions with you that we're going to ask you. We're going to coach you on the best way to answer those. And then we're also going to basically do a pretend, well, if the government attorney asks you this, what will you say? And we basically do kind of a mock trial. It's really, really important to be very thorough when preparing for court. Now, going to court is one of my favorite parts of my job, although I will say that I don't go to court a whole lot anymore because we have amazing attorneys named Taylor and Maru who go to court for us at New Frontier Immigration Law. So I don't get to go a whole lot anymore because it's just not necessary for me, and I'm responsible for doing other things within the firm. But going to court is truly one of the great pleasures of being an immigration attorney, because you're going in, you're facing the judge. I love meeting with immigration judges. I love talking to them because they give you such a huge insight into the way their mind works, not only by observing them in court, but by listening to them as they guide you through the process on how they want things done for them. Each judge is very specific and particular about how he or she likes things to be done. But the best part is when you finish your hearing, you meet with your client out in the hallway, and they have that whole feeling of relief because everything that you told them was exactly what was going to come true. It's just a really good feeling. Now, another question that I get is, how do you collaborate with your team when so many people are remote? Now, back in 2019, when I started my firm, this was obviously before the pandemic. One of my first employees, her name is Maria, and she's still in the firm 5+ years later. She was working across town. She lived here in Arizona, but she lived across town at Luke Air Force Base because her hubby is also in the Air Force, just like mine is. So she worked from home most days. And so from the very beginning, we were a virtual team. It wasn't until later that we actually added some team members here in the Arizona office. And now we're almost 50-50 in Arizona, here local and remote. But what the beauty of having a team all around the globe, frankly, we have people all around the world. The beauty of that is we get work done around the clock. We have team members who are so talented. We're not just hiring from the talent pool right here in Arizona. And we're also able to diversify the type of people who we hire. So it's not just Arizona born and bred and I've always lived here and this is the way that I think. Instead, we get attorneys from all over, which helps us because we represent clients from all over. So, for example, one of our attorneys lives outside Houston and we're opening an office in Houston. So it's super helpful that she knows everything about all the immigration judges and USCIS because she's right there in the Houston area. We are able to meet by Teams. We're a Microsoft Teams company. We used to be Zoom, and I do miss those days, but Teams is how we roll these days, and we love it. I love being able to meet with our team basically anywhere in the world. If I'm on a lobbying trip to Washington, D.C. and going and, walking through the White House and that sort of thing, that afternoon I can still do a team meeting with my entire team because we're remote. The last question that we're going to go over today, and then I'm going to kind of end our podcast here, is how do we ensure effective communication with our team and with our clients? This is a great question, but this has to be our biggest pain point. I'm not going to lie. And this is something that as the owner of the firm, I continue to work to improve because it is such a critical component to good customer service. Every time I talk to an upset client, it's not because we didn't do something right on their case. It's not because we lost their case or anything else. It's because we didn't effectively communicate with them. We didn't give them enough of a heads up about what the timeline would be, or maybe we didn't call them back on time. All of these are things that are related to effective communication. And I think from a team membership and from a place for me to grow as an attorney, if I'm just being honest, as an attorney and as a law firm owner, is to constantly seek to improve communication. And having transparency is the only way I know to operate in order to really have effective communication. I don't believe that anyone should, keep secrets. I hate secrets. I'm like physically repelled by secrets. I don't believe that you should hide where the business is going. So we're seeking to grow. It's important that our team know how many people we're seeking to add to the team each year. It's important that clients know that we're a growing company. That way they know who they're hiring. But we're also a company that has a ton of longevity. It's also important, like if you go out and hire a one lawyer law firm, and that lawyer gets sick, like I did in early 2020, thank God I had a team to back me up. Is that law firm going to be there in a year if that lawyer gets sick, tired, burnout, or whatever? Where at a bigger law firm like New Frontier, we're going to be here forever because we are building a large law firm. We're building a business that's seeking to be generation change, like life changing for generations and generations. And so all of those things are part of the transparency that I seek to provide, not only to my team members, but also to our staff. As we wrap it up, this is kind of what I do at the end of every day is I clean up my space. I do not want anything left on my desk. It's so important. This is possibly the OCD coming out again, I'm realizing, but I don't have drawers on any of my desks because you just stuff things into drawers. I do an end of the day cleanup where everything is all tidied away. Everything has its perfect place. I carry a really big bag with me. It's like my grandma bag. see if I can show you. It's a big bag that has a lot of stuff in here. I can show you. I have this like misting spray that I like to spray on my face because Arizona is super dry and it's so refreshing. I have sunglasses because you got to have sunglasses. I have a magic pen because I write on a magic notebook that, let me see if I can show you some things that are not top secret yet. These are some of the things I'm working on on the firm, but basically you can write on here, and then if you need to, you can erase it, usually not with your spit, but with like a little wipe that I have in here. You get it wet and you wipe it off, and then your magic notebook is clean. And what I do is I take a picture of what I have written and I upload it to my OneNote, which is where I save all my notes. And I use this magic pen and this magic little wipe in order to do that. I always have sticky notes. You'll see that like this is an organized little mom pouch basically. I have my Kindle because I love reading. If I'm anywhere, I try not to scroll on social media. I try to read. I have some nice little hand sanitizer because I don't want to get COVID. It's going around again, and I've had COVID enough times. Some Carmex and some lipstick because I need color on my face. I love these like little toothbrush things. I don't know if you've ever used these. They're called wisps. But I drink a lot of coffee and it makes my mouth smell like a person crawled inside it and pooped in there. And so nobody wants that. You want to meet with an attorney who has fresh breath, not poop mouth. You got to have tampons because if you're a lady or someone who menstruates, you got to have that. Car key. I love pens. I know I said I have a magic pen. This is my second magic pen. But I also love doodling and just writing things out. And I have a pen obsession. So I end up with like all these beautiful colors of pens. And it just depends on what I'm writing and what I'm thinking about. But I'm kind of like I'm writing a book about T visas and how to help women in particular, but men are able to apply too. But I'm writing a book about how to get your green card, even if you don't want to get married. It's one of our podcast episodes, but I'm expanding on it. But you can see, super faint, but you can see I'm writing a lot in here and I'm always writing different things, different colors, because it's just when the mood strikes, you got to do it. And I think I showed you my charger, and I've got a wallet that needs to get packed up. I've got my AirPods because I use those all the time. And these are an extra pair of sunglasses that you got to have here in Arizona because it's really bright. I carry my laptop with me still everywhere. So as we pack up and go home, you're going to pack up and go home with me. And then, of course, I've got my iPhone because I don't go anywhere without that. That, my friends, is my wind down for the day. I bring my desk home with me because if I need to work from home tomorrow, I don't want to not have all of my stuff with me. Or if I'm moving from office to office, whether it's our Phoenix office or here in our Glendale office, I want to make sure that I have everything I need so that I can be an effective lawyer and boss lady for all the amazing folks who are New Frontier clients and colleagues. Thanks so much for joining us. This was a day in the life of an immigration lawyer in Phoenix, Arizona, and I can help you no matter where you are. I hope you have a great day. See you around, friends. Bye-bye.